here for round number 4. We have to mulligan this hand. And not a good one, but we can keep it. Or not an ideal one. It actually could be a very good hand depending on what we're playing against. But I don't know that it's worth mulliganing. A white source is what we need. Technically, any third land, we can activate Field of Ruin, get a Plains. It'll just slow us down a turn, but we can still cast one of our removal spells if we need to. Discard spell or a Bitter Blossom would be ideal, but we'll see. Pretty much anything that's not another 3 or 4 drop is what we're looking for right now. Path to Exile is always kind of a tough pill to swallow. It does make it difficult to give our opponents so many lands when we're trying to kill creatures, especially in the first few turns. But just having a quick instant speed, no questions asked kill spell is just so crucially important, especially one that exiles, given all the persistent threats that are going on in Modern right now, or even things like Wormcoil Engine and that you don't want to kill, or all the Eldrazi like Thought-Knot Seers and what are we talking about here? The 3 mana 3/2 Eldrazi and all that stuff that they actually get a lot of value out of exiling. Let's keep this. But that's where Fatal Push is just such a good card. Just being able to kill things, no questions asked in the early turns is phenomenal. At the bottom that sadly we're not surveilling. Okay. So I guess hoping for something like humans. Well, this is not what we're looking for. Not having a discard spell against Escape Shift is pretty bad, but should get better for us post-board. We do have a way to kill Path to Exile, which is good. Or sorry, kill Primeval Titan, but they're so far from that, and they usually don't even need that to win. So we really kind of have like a 4-card hand here. Yep. And unless things have really changed, they are not a Blood Moon deck. But Field of Ruin is pretty good against them. Or it can be. Depends how much value they got out of their Valakut already, and how much value, or how late in the process they play their Valakut. But this is a matchup where history is pretty good, because you do want to clock them quickly. So that does help, especially when they sack their chump blockers early. So they'll go up to 5 lands on turn 3. That's pretty tough for us. I'm gonna try. Well, I was gonna try not to crack the fetch land to bring us down to 18, but I do think I want to play the Dreadhorde Invasion, which will be bringing us down in life below 18, so maybe I kind of have to. I don't quite know Escape Shift math as well as I should, but if they next turn have 6 lands, cast Escape Shift, doesn't quite work yet, so I can leave Field of Ruin tapped this turn without too much consequence, and then plan to activate Valakut afterwards. Obviously, when they all come into play together with Valakut, then that doesn't help, but if they do that and put me down to 6, and then I can, or something like that, and then I can hit them with a Field of Ruin. But I believe this is the first instance of Dreadhorde invasion this series, so that's kind of exciting. Certainly more exciting than our opponent's play speed here. Yeah, I don't think we've played it those last few games, matches, so it's pretty good. All right, hopefully our opponent's playing a little more speed and urgency now. So let's see the clock here. They crack a fetch, go to 14. Can hit them for 8 next turn. They go to 6. The following turn, I will have a 2/2 zombie and my 2/2 knights. So that would be 6, exactly lethal if we're not interacted with. Or I guess they're at 13 now, so a little less than that. Prime time. Not so much of a problem. It's better than Scape Shift for us. Obviously, they go prime time into Scape Shift. We are in a lot of trouble, but yeah, okay, so they did get a Valakut. Yeah, that slows down our clock by a whole turn, but it's okay. Don't need to pay 2 life. And I didn't need a path to exile my own creature. Ooh, actually, cancel that. I need to Field of Ruin the Valakut first and then path to exile, so I don't lose my other knight. Yep, and just drew a land, so nothing exciting there. Get a plains. Pop that guy. So we're totally dead to Escape Shift. But there's really nothing we can do about it. We kind of have to hope they don't have it here. Attack them for 4, they go to 9. Next turn we attack them for another 4 and another 4. So there's another Primeval Titan, which is fine with me. Okay. So I'm going to let them get their lands first. Yikes. I have to do this. I can't let them attack with a prime time. I'll get to kill both my creatures, but then they are out of land or out of cards in hand. So I'm just looking for threats, life gain, Field of Ruin. But we're pretty up against it here because they double Valakut, then all their lands are like double lightning bolt draws, which is really brutal. Do I crack this land? Army's gonna put me to 10 next turn. They're not lethal. I'll go to 9 anyway. So let's just go ahead and do this. Sorin would be a great draw. It's like the ideal draw here. Sure, Lingering Souls puts them dead next turn. Oh, they have 3 on the stack right there. Yikes. I missed that. So, oh no, that's 6 on the stack, so they need any land, then we're dead. But I think any land, and we were dead anyway. At 10 life, that would not have changed. So they don't have a lot of bricks, unfortunately. That is not a brick. Yeah. Oh well. I don't know if there's anything I could have done differently necessarily. Was it 0 exactly? Oh no, they had another one on the stack, so they would have dealt me 3 more damage. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say that would have been ultimate feel bads. Alright, so it looks like they're pretty heavy on the Primeval Titans, so I want all the Path to Exiles. I'm gonna cut the pushes. I'm going to... Cell's tough, but it's potential. Brutality's good. Collar's a potential. Damping Sphere's not something we need. Surgical and Extirpate are good. Auriok Champions gain life, but that's it. So these are my life gain cards. These are other cards I might want. I don't know that I care to settle. And if you can surgical or extirpate Valakut, we're in good shape. They are good discard spells. So question is, what's a better life gain? Auriok Champion or Basilisk Collar? They might be bringing in things like Pyroclasm and Anger of the Gods, so Auriok Champion's pretty good there, so I'm going to cut that. Cut 1 Auriok. Maybe cut an Extirpate. Maybe, like, the thing is I do want to draw one of these, but 3 is a lot of those effects to draw. Virtue is important. Discard spells are important. Let's cut an Extirpate. I don't know that the surgical effects are that good against this deck. Play first, yes. Yeah, Blossom, Virtue, Surgical. I mean, we don't, Field of Ruin and Surgical is what we want. Obviously, I'd love to have a Thoughtseize or Inquisition or something, but I think this hand is certainly viable. Got a clock, and we have a little interaction with Field of Ruin, Surgical, so. Bloodstained Mire, interesting land choice. Okay. Blossom. Next turn we can go Vent Virtue. And we'll kind of decide from there what we draw. Yep. Ooh, history's better. And then if we draw untapped land, we can go double Virtue next turn. Put them on a fast clock. Ooh, they do have a Valakut out. So we might just, with an untapped land, we can Field of Ruin Virtue. Five other mountains. What do they got for this? Whoa. So are they going to get a bolt trigger off this? Oh boy. That's bad. Should have Field of Ruin last turn. Yikes. Do I field now? Yikes. So let's do that. They get to kill it. 2 tokens, I think. Probably my 2 knights. Then I'll Thoughtseize. Ah, they don't quite yet, okay. And I guess Surgical their last. Oh, that's a good Thoughtseize. Surgical their last Valakut, I guess. Or maybe the Primeval Titan. Let's do some quick math here. Surgical is going to put me to 13, then Bitter Blossom down to 12. It's not so good. If they draw land, they kill my 2 knights. Next turn I'm attacking them for... Oh, I didn't play my Shambling Vent last turn. Holy moly, that was a huge mistake. Otherwise I could attack them for 6 instead of 4. They don't... Wait, they have the lands, right? So they get to double bolt my knights. I think I just missed my Shambling Vent. I don't think I can take the 2 damage from the Surgical. Because that's a whole turn. Yeah, Bitter Blossom might get me to 12 before I kill them anyway. Because I missed that land drop. I was too worried about the Field of Ruin Thoughtseize play. Oh boy. That's a pretty tough mistake, so we'll see. Right now, should be attacking for 2 extra. And I think Primeval Titan's more of the threat, so I'm going to take that on their draw step. As opposed to the other Valakut. Because Prime Time accounts for 2. Search for Tomorrow accounts for 1 land. We'll see what they do here. So they drew Summoner's Pact. Awesome. Were they choosing to... Oh, I guess if they'd used the Summoner's Pact, then they wouldn't have got nothing. So they can almost kill me. They'll play a mountain, deal me 6. Pact for a Sakura Tribe Elder, deal me 6 more. I go to 2, Bitter Blossom puts me to 1, and I have to attack with Shambling Vent to gain some life. But then they deal me 6 more, so I kind of need to draw a Sorin. Oh, but they get to, let's see, they played a Wooded Foothills. So they get to block and sack the Tribe Elder, or I play Virtue and attack them for 9 in the air, in which case they can't crack the fetch land, but I'm dead next turn. Sack the Tribe Elder. They deal me 6. Play a mountain. They deal me 6 more. I die to my own Bitter Blossom. So basically, last turn, that Shambling Vent mistake, or 2 turns ago, that mistake cost me because they should be at 8 life right now instead. And they would have to target my fairies with the Valakuts. Yeah, I mean, I think that lost me the game. Missed that land drop. Well, still learned. Also, that Hour Promise, obviously, I think it was still correct to, all right, well, now they have to target my Fairy Rogues. Maybe we're still salvage here. Problem is, Bitter Blossom still puts me to 12 next turn, so we'll see. Yeah, I mean, obviously, turn 3, I had the choice of Field of Ruin, the Valakut, and Surgical that turn. Which, I guess if I do that, it just kind of wins the game anyway, and I don't need to worry about how fast my clock is. My concern was that I needed to get the history out as soon as possible to speed up my clock. But I guess if I get to do the Field of Ruin Surgical Extraction play, then that pretty close to wins me the game on its own. So I should have just pulled that trigger as soon as I could. Yep. Yeah. So, 2 mistakes. One was just a judgment call, right, of the Field of Ruin, waiting 1 more turn, and they obviously, like, the Hour Promise getting 2 Valakuts. Like, it's a card I don't think about. I don't think it's necessarily 100% in all the Escape Shift decks, but the missing land drop was particularly brutal. So, although they still ended up at 6, so I would have dealt 2 extra damage. So yeah, maybe it wouldn't have mattered. Yeah, probably wouldn't have mattered, now that I think about it. The line they took was just not taking the damage in the first place, so. Alright, well, we will be back for the 5th and final round.